Greetings, YouTube. Be who you are. It's a really simple statement. Be who you are. 4 words. It's remarkably difficult to pull off. Very few of us have ever had the grace of being raised in a family that had that motto, that concept, that narrative from the moment of our birth. Almost all of us have had some external narrative imposed upon us. It could be political, religious, it could be from bad parenting, it could be from the greater society the family is raised in. It could be the pernicious plague of social conservatism. I think any number of reasons that the narrative, be who you are, is not laid before us as a path to follow. And some of us have had to survive abuse of one kind or another: mental abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse. Sometimes simply living within a society that says, no, you, because you are X, Y, or Z, can't do A, B, or C. Sorry, no Plaid people allowed. But some of us have gotten to a point in our lives where a whole lot of that bull doesn't matter. Where, if you'll pardon the vulgarity, we have fewer and fewer fucks to give about that. That be who you are seems like a pretty good idea. Now, this being the internet, I'm going to throw out the caveat that be who you are is a philosophy I think we should follow so long as we're not harming other people or ourselves. That everything has limits and boundaries. Nothing other than ourselves are limitless. That we should be able to be who you are until you bump into somebody else on their path. Who knows, something interesting might have come from that interaction. Sometimes it just means you're going to be heading off in different directions, passing by each other, maybe traveling in parallel for a while before we wander off in another direction. Sometimes we get lucky and those joint travels last a long time. We call them friendships. Sometimes they lead to marriage, long-term relationships that are deeper than just friendship. Those are the really good ones. But being who you are can have some obstacles to it. There are going to be things thrown in your path, sometimes from your family, sometimes from associates, sometimes from society at large. But if someone's really your friend, they're not going to be putting obstacles in your path. They're going to help you move up and over them. They're going to give you a boost or reach down and help pull you up. If someone's putting in obstacles in your path, then they aren't your friend. Not even if they tell you it's for your own good. Not if they tell you, well, this is how we've always done it. That isn't justification for anything. Sometimes this is how we've always done it has a base in logic. Just step back once in a while, make sure that it's actually based in something that makes sense, and not just because that's the way Bob did it. Bob did it because of the way Sally did it. Sally did it because of the way Steve did it, all the way back through time. Sometimes we need to assess the situation for what it is and decide, is this a thing that I need in my path? Is this part of my journey, or is this an obstacle to be overcome? I'm getting better at being who I am. I have less and less tolerance for the bull that is thrown in my path. And I'm getting better and better, not just going over it, pushing it aside, making sure it's not in my path. And I've discovered that some of the obstacles I thought at one time as insurmountable, I can step right over. I could always step right over them. My perception of them as obstacles is different than from what their actual obstruction that they provide is. And that right there is part of my journey on my path of being who I am. Having a more realistic view of the obstacles in my path. Now that my anxiety is down to what I judge it may be a normal level, I'm not really positive I'll ever understand what that means. But it's a much more reasonable level. And things that would have set me off in the past and stopped me dead, I now walk around over, and I don't really give them a second thought. It's kind of nice. Being who you are can be expressed in any way you can imagine. The way you dress, the way you act, the way you talk, who you love, who you spend time with, the art you make, the music you make, the creative outlets you find that you never knew existed. Admittedly, most people probably aren't going to make weapons. Something that is probably a fairly narrow subset of people are going to do on their path of being who you are. But it's a worthy journey. And there's more room inside me now than there used to be. And it isn't scary. I was always afraid if I freed myself from depression and anxiety, there would be nothing left inside. That in and of itself, is part of my problem. But guess what? When I clear those things out, those negative thoughts that come with depression, anxiety have been moved aside, swept out. There's more of me in there. I've got more elbow room, if you will. I can pirouette on occasion. And having more of me inside me is a pretty nice thing. And I hope that you have all the room inside yourself that you need to be you, to follow your path, to continue your journey as you learn how to be who you are.